My name is Namy. They dragged me out of the tipped stage like a sack the road didn't want. Noon hammered the street. Heat made the horizon shake. Gun oil, leather, dust like ash on the tongue. Inside the dusty teacup, Rafe set 10 coins on scarred wood. Click, click, click. The sound of a door locking from the outside. She pours quiet, he said. Keeps quieter. The freight man looked anywhere but my eyes and took the price. They cut my wrist rope, left the knot in my day. Out back, a path bit into the canyon wall. Their hive hid there, bedrolls, a cooked tarp snapping, feed sacks that smelled like powder, a map nailed to a post with a knife, charcoal routes, crosses where luck quit. Maud, hair coiled like a lariat, slipped me water. Dab, don't scrub, she said to my split lip, then, softer. Survival's answering the right question, and knowing when not to answer at all. I walked a tray until my steps learned the ground. Faces learned me back. Lark with the blade-thin grin, Whip with lazy lids and quick hands, Tansy wrapping a sprain like she was mending a fence. Rafe moved through the hive like a measuring stick, never hurried, never somewhere else. Night climbed the rock in quiet layers. I wiped tables, listened to the shape of their talk. Never name a future, never brag a past that can be found. Maud poured coffee black as tar. Price is a lesson, she said. Learn it, and you can change it. I looked at the 10 coins left in plain sight, like a picture he liked straight. They didn't feel like money. They felt like a look. Locks look strong. Mostly they're puzzles. I slept under canvas that smelled of onions and a rain that hadn't come. If you rise before a day decides what it is, sometimes the day listens. Dawn scraped the canyon in blue. A whistle, 2 short notes, meant coffee. 3 meant saddle. 1 long meant trouble without a name. I learned the hours, the stash holes under the loose floorboard, the angle a pistol leaves when a man says he's unarmed. Lark tested me with cheap tosses. Glass tin, a lie tossed softer than both. I caught what he threw and the grin turned smaller. Keep it clean, Rafe said. He didn't mean tables. He meant the air around his plans. He kept a ledger. Bullets in, bullets out, mouths, favors, lies with interest. He ran the hive like weather. You don't argue weather. You read it and move. Nights I walked the rim with a tray that held nothing but calm. Counted steps of patrols, learned where echoes double and where a horse won't break a leg. The canyon drew itself into my head until I could carry it without spilling. Maud made me a salve of pine and something bitter. Everything is information, she said. Even the way a man ties a knot. She showed me the back door that looks like wall. Not for running yet, she added. Just for knowing. Lark leaned at the bar. You're bought, he said. I let silence be the only thing I served. He didn't know silence can be a wedge. By the 4th morning, my feet landed where they meant to. My face learned stillness that wasn't surrender. I could set a glass, a smile, a lie. And none of them rattled. Ash-hated hands, ears pinned, hoof ready. Men like to prove a thing with force and a wider stance. I didn't. I stood and breathed with him until my breath quit panicking. Long in, long out. The way the mesa breathes. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, he forgot to bite the air near my sleeve. Day 3, he let my palm learn the heat at his neck. I cut a whistle from the quiet. 1 note to move, 2 to stop, a soft third that meant me. He flicked an ear. That was a kind of binding. Maud saw. Left half a loaf and a bridle better than any I'd seen there. Everything becomes useful, she said like a prayer that didn't need a church. Even kindness, especially kindness that looks like patience. At night, I listened to men brag in circles that went nowhere, and to women who knew how to make circles into bowls that held lives. I stored small truths like matches in dry cloth. The coins stayed on that table like a dare. I quit looking at them as a price and started seeing them as a hinge. Hinges move. When wind turned the lanterns nervous, I taught Ash the 3rd note again. He sighed, lowered his head. Sometimes a horse forgives what a person won't. Sometimes that's enough to start. They hid a train safe at a bend called Widow's Elbow, dragged me along to pour victory. The sky soured to sepia and wind rose like a rumor turning true. The safe slewed. Lark slipped, kicked loose, gun half drawn, eyes gone wide. Bullets argued with dust and lost the argument. I threw the serving tray, flat, fast, cracked his wrist off the grip before he could decide on a mistake. I whistled once. Ash shouldered the wagon hard enough to rewrite its path, then came to my knee on the second note like we'd been doing this for years. Sand slapped. The world shrank to 10 feet and the sound of hurt metal. Rafe raised his pistol at the shape I was in the storm. Lowered it when he saw me drag Lark clear of the wheel. I didn't want to die for 10 coins. I didn't want anyone else to either. We made a pocket in the wind by accident and will, shoved through it. Gatewood hit my hip. The hinge screamed like a mother. Inside, the noise changed. Less storm, more breath. Lark cursed gratitude like it cut. I didn't answer. Ash blew heat against my shoulder and forgot to be proud. We survived without drawing blood we didn't need. That counted for something in a place that usually didn't count. Morning came like a verdict you can live with. The canyon smelled rinsed iron and wet dust. Rafe set the same 10 coins between us. Not a trap, not a trophy, just a fact he respected. "You're worth more than this," he said. "Choose walk, or stay as a person, not a purchase." I looked at Maud, at Ash, head over the rail like he already knew the answer, at the canyon mouth shaped like a well, deciding what it keeps. "I'll go," I said. "I'll come back for honest work." Rafe nodded once, the kind of nod that doesn't follow you, just makes room if you ever return. Lark muttered a crooked thanks he didn't owe. I palmed the coins. They were lighter than the first time. Not ransom anymore. Not price. Just metal that remembered a lesson. I swung into the saddle. Ash took the third note and gave me the road. The desert drew a straight line and asked if I meant it. I did. Maud's voice carried. "Don't let anyone else price your life." I closed my hand around the 10 and kept riding. Past the ledger, past the hive, past the lock that turned out to be a hinge, toward a town that hadn't met me yet, and a door I would choose which way to open.